With the latest regulatory filings released, we can now take a look at what Michael Burry has been up to, and it does look a little controversial. His latest tweets have been very clear. Now is the time to sell, and also this time is different, but as you'll soon see, most recently Michael Burry has been buying, not selling. And so in this video, we're going to take a look at his latest moves and see what his portfolio looks like at the beginning of 2023. As always, if you do enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does. Okay, first up, Michael Burry is regularly in the headlines for being a crash predicting expert. And with the economy struggling right now, people are still paying attention to what he is saying. And so let's take a look at what Michael Burry has been doing with his own money. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is what has Michael Burry been up to, and also let's take a look at the investing behavior of Michael Burry. So regulatory filings get released every quarter, so you'll see the latest one was Q4 2022, and his hedge fund is Scion Asset Management. Now, if we just go back a few quarters, you'll start to see something quite obvious. And this is, I wouldn't class Michael Burry as an investor, but more of a trader. He has a habit of liquidating a whole bunch of new buys and then adding some brand new positions. He'll liquidate a large chunk of the portfolio and then do brand new buys. Liquidate a lot of the new buys and then take on a whole bunch of new companies. Then Q2 2022, you can see he pretty much liquidated almost everything apart from Geo Group. Brand new buys Q3, and then most recently he's liquidated again a lot of these stocks and bought brand new companies. So the first insight for me is that he's more of a trader, not investor. And also as well, you have to give him credit for being a very unique trader, as he doesn't really go for the huge brand names. A lot of these companies are companies that most people will never have heard of. So this is his most recent activity. So let's now take a look at how his portfolio looked at the beginning of 2023. And so here it is, Michael Burry's portfolio as of the beginning of this year, 2023. And it's made up of 9 different positions and to the value of around 46 million. So I've rounded it up to the nearest million just to keep things super simple. And a quarter, his largest position is Geo Group, his infamous prison stocks. Then we have 20% in Black Knight, 11% in Coherent, 9% in Alibaba, 9% in JD. So he does have a big bet on China. Then 8% in Wolverine, 7% MGM Resorts, 5% Curate, and 4% Sky West. So just pause the screen if you want to spend some more time on this. But the last thing I'd like to point out is what Michael Burry has been saying versus doing. As if you recall, one of his most recent tweets was at the end of January this year, simply saying to sell. Yet many of these positions are brand new positions. So to finish up, let's assume that just before this tweet, Michael Burry had sold these positions. Let's see how he did against the S&P 500. So by simply buying the S&P 500 at the beginning of this year, you would be up around 7%. So let's see how Burry has done against the S&P. Well, his largest position was this Geo Group, and it is now down 7% on the year. So his largest position has taken quite a big hit. not good for Burry. Position 2 was Black Knight, and this is an American corporation that provides technology and data for the mortgage lending and servicing industry. And this has done better, up 4%, but still lags behind the S&P. Position 3 was Coherent Corp, and this is an American manufacturer of optical and semiconductors. And this has done very well, up 30%. Next up is Alibaba, and Alibaba did have a great start to the year. At one point it was up 30%, but has since come down 15%, but it's still marginally beating the S&P at 12%. JD was his other bet on China, and unfortunately, even with China loosening their COVID restrictions, this e-commerce giant is down 6%, not beating the S&P. Next was Wolverine Worldwide, which is a footwear manufacturer, again in America, and this has done very well, up 40%. We had MGM Resorts, which is an American global hospitality and entertainment company, doing very well, up 30%. We had Curate Retail, again doing very well, up 46%. And finally, SkyWest, an American regional airline, up 23%. So overall, he is probably beating the S&P 500, which very, very few people can do. But I'll just finish with this final thought. Michael Burry did clearly tell everybody to sell at the end of January. So he's either now sold all of these stocks, or what he is doing and what he is saying are two different things. And we will find this out over the coming months. So stay tuned, as I will tell you how this story ends. But for now, if you did enjoy anything in the video, remember to drop a like, and I'll see you in the next video.